Annyeonghaseyo from Korea. Welcome to next Matchip. I've lived in Korea for nearly half my life and I love cooking Korean food. Today I'm making Oyster Jeon, basically an oyster pancake or essentially battered oysters. Let's start by dicing up our duck. We need this finely. Now this is smoked duck you can buy at most Korean stores, so just get it if you can. If you can't get smoked duck, regular duck is fine, or even bacon would be a good substitute. As fine as possible because it's going to get mixed with a little bit of oyster and basically to create, a battered oyster. So you don't want big pieces in your battered oyster. In addition, let's add a little bit of red color as well as a tiny bit of spice with a red pepper here. As finely as possible, and that'll add a beautiful red color. You can skip the red pepper if you really want. Now the chives are important. You can do chives, you can do anything, you maybe even do a small green onion, just something that's going to add a little bit of that extra flavor to it. This is the fun part. Frying up this duck is so good because it smells delicious. So we want this duck actually to be a little bit seasoned. So we're going to use my smoked duck recipe that I use quite often when I'm cooking, especially with chives. So add a little bit of garlic, get that frying, and just before the garlic starts to burn, add in the cooking oil. That's going to give it a really nice flavor to it. And mix it in. Now once again, just before the garlic starts to burn, I'm going to put in the soy sauce. Cools down the pan a little bit, lets you keep cooking that garlic a little longer before it starts to burn again. You'll also notice that your duck should now be crisping up, sort of caramelizing in the pan. And then the final step is adding in our chives with this delicious red pepper. Give that a quick go, and you're done. Perfect. Nothing's burned, but it's looking nice and crispy. The flavor from this is going to add a lot of sort of taste and texture to that jeon. Now let's prepare these oysters. You want to dry them. This is just a good habit. Whenever you do anything with frying up, you want to get as much water off it as possible. It'll make things a lot easier. You'll get a better fry. So pat them down with a towel. Get them dry as possible and then salt them up a little bit. You could also add salt to the batter. I'm finding I try to since I'm already using soy sauce with the duck, it's going to be salty anyway. Now I'm starting off with 2 eggs here for our batter mix. But I realized probably 3 is better. So 3 eggs. I'm using a lot of oysters today. And get that in that egg. Look at that. This is so delicious. Obviously don't eat it now. Gotta cook it first. But that tastes, well, it doesn't taste good, but it looks good as we mix it up and it smells so delicious. This is bu침가루. Basically it's like a Korean sort of flour that we use for frying. It's got a bunch of seasoning things in it. You can make your own if you want, or just use regular flour as a substitute. Mix in your oysters, just get them covered. I mean, you can just put it in a bag and shake them up. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. This way was much harder than just putting it in a plastic bag and giving it a shake. I would do that next time, but it gets the job done. Do these in groups, so probably about, it depends on the size of your pan, but if you can fit 7 to 10 in a pan, and do them in groups of 7 to 10. Just don't use too much batter or too much sort of mix in the first ones, otherwise you'll run out at the end, which I almost did. Get a nice hot pan and just put them on there one by one. Make sure you got a little bit of sauce on each one with a little bit of duck. No one wants one that's missing duck, and no one wants one that's got all the duck. This wouldn't be fair. And then flip them once they turn golden brown. You really can't go wrong here. You don't want to overdo it, and you can tell when you're overdoing it because your egg or your egg batter will start to turn that dark brown. You don't want that, even though it'll still taste good, to be honest. And there we go, beautiful. So, absolutely delicious recipe. I recommend you guys try this at home. Obviously, you can just do it a normal way where you batter the oysters, but adding that duck is the key. That fried and seasoned duck will just add a beautiful, almost a little bit more salty flavor to this. And it already is a little bit salty. Oysters tend to be a bit, they've got that sort of seafood salty taste to them. So it'll really go, a bit of surf and turf you could call this. We've got the land duck and then the fantastic oysters fresh from the sea. And they taste so good, soft on the inside, not overcooked, and perfect. And we've got a little bit of a lime. These are not lemons, they're actually limes. So hope you enjoyed the recipe. Get out there, cook deliciously, and 안녕히 계세요. Thanks for watching.